Welcome to the first ever episode of the Fast and Goal podcast. My name is Gavin Fast, and this is my co-host and my cousin Clayton Fast.
Hello, guys.
And today we're going to be starting our podcast by introducing ourselves and then getting into week one of college football. And if we have time, maybe dabble into some NFL. So I'm going to introduce myself first. My name is Gavin Fast. I'm 21 years old. I was born in Tampa and I've lived in Tampa my whole life. So I live just north of Tampa, close to the Bucks, close to the Lightning. And I am a Lightning fan, a Gators fan, an Orlando Magic fan, and a Tennessee Titans fan. Clayton, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, guys. I'm Clayton Fast. I live in Northwest Ohio. I've lived in Northwest Ohio my entire life. I'm 18. I am a senior in high school. I am a fan of the Ohio State Buckeyes. I also like the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, as well as a St. Louis Cardinals fan for baseball.
Okay, so Clayton's kind of all over here. We'll start off by talking about the Thursday and Friday games. So tonight is Friday, August 29th, but we just reached August 30th since we're past midnight. So we're going to discuss the beginning of week one, which was Thursday. So Clayton, did you end up getting any eyes on any of the Thursday games?
Yes, I was able to watch a little bit of the USF and Boise State game. I thought Boise State completely looked like trash, and USF somehow just dominated. And then I was able to watch the Rutgers game in Ohio University, which Rutgers looked terrible defensively and a little bit offensively.
Okay. Did you watch any of the Cincinnati, Nebraska game or no?
I was not able to watch any of that. It
Okay.
was my bedtime.
Okay. So I was at the USF Boise State game. I agree with Clayton. Boise State did not look great at all. Maddox Madsen was pretty inaccurate. His O-line didn't really do him any favors, but I know USF just has a really good pass rush for the AAC. So maybe they'll be able to improve if they can get Madsen some more time. But yardage wise, they were about the same. I think Boise State actually had more total yards, but Boise State was horrible on fourth down. A lot of those yards kind of came in garbage time. USF quarterback Byram Brown, you could just tell that he wanted to win more than the whole Broncos team. Like he was taking hard hits. He was kind of a leader. He was able to step up when the pocket collapsed. So. Shout out to Byron Brown and the Bulls. I don't know if this is really going to continue. The fake punt was kind of lucky. Next week they have Florida Gators. The week after they have Miami Hurricanes. So we could see the Bulls fall off here, but maybe they do have a real shot at winning the American Athletic. Other than that, I didn't really watch any games besides a little bit of Cincinnati, Nebraska, which was kind of underwhelming. I like that it was a close game the whole way, but neither quarterback really showed out like I thought they would, Sorsby or Raiola. Um, but yeah, Nebraska kind of struggled there. We'll see what happens when they get into Big Ten play because they're going to be seeing much more difficult defenses than Nebraska or than Cincinnati. So tonight is Friday night, and I'll begin with saying I didn't watch a lot of the games tonight either. I was at work watching a little bit of Georgia Tech Colorado, which was a fun game, but not super exciting. It was 27 to 20. Colorado had poor clock management at the end, which we've seen Dion do a few times now. He's not a great clock manager. And yes, that's a huge road win for Georgia Tech. We'll see if they have a shot at winning the ACC, maybe sneaking into the playoffs. And then, other than that, I watched Kennesaw State and Wake, which was Wake just barely snuck out a win, 10 to 9. We didn't see any of the Charlotte quarterback for Wake. We saw, who was it? Robbie Ashford, who didn't look great. Wake had really no running game. Um, Ashford kind of just made a few weird decisions, but Wake was still able to find a way to get the win, but they could be the worst team in the ACC. Um, Other than that, I didn't get to watch any of Auburn Baylor, so I'm looking forward to watching those highlights, checking in on that. Clayton, were you able to watch anything tonight?
I was not able to watch any games tonight. I was at my high school football game, and we got the dub on the road, baby.
Okay, so
Friday Night
Clayton,
Lights.
so you went to a road game.
Yes, I did go to a road game.
Okay, so that's good fan right there. Um, but other than that, we're gonna hop right into tomorrow's games. We're gonna be giving out some picks. We'll be keeping track of these picks throughout the season, see who does better, me or Clayton. Maybe, maybe if we're close halfway through the season, we'll think of a punishment or a reward. We'll figure out something to do there, but we can just go back and forth on our picks. I'll begin. This is really the only pick that I have a lot of info on, and it's Notre Dame minus 2.5. So we saw Carson Beck has been injured. This is his first game back from injury. I don't know how good of a leader he really is, so that's going to be interesting to see. Um, Miami's wide receiver room and tight end room is kind of mediocre. We saw Restrepo's gone now. Elijah Arroyo, I believe his name was drafted pretty decently early to the Seahawks. I want to say the fourth round or so. So that whole receiver room is depleted. I don't know how good that offense is really going to be, and I don't know how much of a home advantage they're really going to have because Notre Dame travels well. The Hurricanes don't really have much of a home advantage there in Hard Rock Stadium. It could possibly be 60-40 Miami's advantage, but I don't think it'll be a big advantage at all. Uh, we also have Miami starting 11 transfers. Notre Dame's only starting two transfers, so Miami might get into a slow start. Well, Notre Dame's kind of had this team for a while, and their two transfers. One of them is an ex-Virginia receiver who had 800 yards last year. So we could see how that kind of adds to the offense with Jeremiah Love maybe getting some help in the passing game. Depends on how good CJ Carr is. I'm not too worried about him though in this mediocre road environment. So yeah, Notre Dame minus 2.5, kind of a good number. They just need to win by a field goal. Clayton, what is your first lock of the week?
All right. My first lock of the week is Tennessee by 13 and a half at Syracuse. They, I feel like Tennessee, after the way they ended their season last year against Ohio State, they're going to come out with a vengeance and they're going to be mad and they're going to go straight after Syracuse and they're just going to dominate the whole game. I mean, I could even see them, you could take them at minus 20 and a half or whatever you want, get some more money on your betting props or whatever. But yeah, I just think Tennessee's going to completely dominate the whole game.
All right, so this was not pre-planned, but I actually have the same exact pick right here on my notes. Tennessee minus 13.5. I think Aiden Aguilar has been written off as a mediocre quarterback. The whole Nico thing, everybody thinks Tennessee's just out of the playoff picture, just completely done. But no, Josh Heupel's done great job at recruiting there. I think if Aguilar is just mediocre, two touchdowns should be very easy to cover against a pretty bad Syracuse team. They no longer have Kyle McCord. He kind of had a magical season. But yeah, just a very mediocre Syracuse team and a very big and physical Tennessee team. I think, yeah, like Clayton said, this should be very easy to cover the two possessions. So, Clayton, do you have a third pick that you can give us?
A third pick that I got for us is I have Florida State covering the plus 13 and a half. I feel like Bama is way overrated. The Florida State Seminoles, I feel like they want it more. Um, I just feel like, you know, Bama's, I don't know, Bama's just on the downfall right now, I feel like. And not only can Florida State cover the plus 13 and a half, you can take them with the win at plus 440. Give
Wow.
me the Florida State beating Bama.
Okay, so you have Florida State plus 13 and a half.
Yes.
This was also not planned whatsoever, but I have Bama minus 13 and a half. I'm going to be fighting Clayton on the opposite side. I think Bama needs this win for the playoffs. You know, they have a tough SEC schedule. They have questions at quarterback, so they could drop a few games. Dropping this game is not a way that they're going to want to start this season. Kalen DeBoer really needs this win. It could be a huge road win. I don't think the atmosphere is going to be horrible. I think it's a 3:30 game. I know Bama travels really, really well, especially after FSU season last year. I don't really know how many FSU fans are going to pop out to this one. Kind of a big spread. We could see kind of a Bama takeover over there. But other than that, the defense played really well last year. They're going to bring a lot of their guys back. They're supposed to have one of the best O lines in the country. I think they could really run the ball well this year. They don't really need to rely on the pass, so I'm not really too worried about the quarterback concerns. Do you just have those three picks, Clayton, or do you have a fourth pick?
Just those three picks. I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, I have a fourth pick. It's kind of a bonus pick. And do you mind me ripping a fourth pick, or do you want me to only keep three on record?
No, you can wait. Yeah, I got a fourth one
You
here.
got a
Hold
fourth
on.
one too? Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll each go four.
Yeah.
All right, my fourth one, and in honor of Lee Corso, I don't have any headgear for this, but I do have a jersey that I would like to put on. In honor of Lee Corso, I'm gonna pull out the jersey for this pick. It is not a spread, but it is a point total, and I have the Ohio State University going under 23 and a half points. And we're with
What?
the Texas jersey. This is the only time you'll ever see me in a Texas jersey. Here we go.
What are we doing?
The Texas defense is going to show out. Julian Sayin has all this pressure on him. I think it's way too much pressure to handle. Both Ohio State running backs are gone in the draft, and Will Howard's gone in the draft. Egbuka gone in the draft. You know, this Texas defense has proven over and over that they are one of the more elite, more dominant defenses. They continue to recruit. They have good depth. They'll always have guys step up. They replace their guys in the draft every year. And I don't see Ohio State maybe 24, but I think 24 at the max. I don't think Sayan's going to be able to drop anywhere in the 30s against this Texas defense. I think a more realistic number would be 20 or 21. Now, that's not to say Ohio State won't win. I just don't think that they're going to be putting up a lot of points on the board. I think they're not going to let Sayan throw any deep bombs. They're just going to kind of play it safe, play a low scoring, ugly game, put up 20 or 21 points. So over to you, Clayton. What's your fourth pick?
All right. So you come out with that. I gotta come back at you. I am going to take the spread of Ohio State. Give me Ohio State minus 2.5. I
Well,
feel
no,
it's I
you
feel
don't
like they're
have
winning.
you
You can
don't
even take what?
you just have to take the regular spread just for the lock, just for the lock's point. What's the normal spread? 1.5 right now?
Yeah, 1.5 the spread, the
Okay, we'll
regular
give you
spread.
plus 1.5. But you're saying you think two and minus 2.5 is you would even bet that.
Yes, minus 2.5. Legit. Okay. Yes, Will Howard's gone. Yes, our two running backs are gone. Okay. Don't care. You have Jeremiah Smith. He's winning the Heisman. You have Julian saying true freshman. Everyone's dissing on him.
Not a true freshman. He's a redshirt, I thought.
Well, okay, you have redshirt freshman, whatever. It's still the same thing. And then you have
Is he a true?
what's his face? Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood. Everyone thinks he's so good. Everyone's
What
dissing
does
on
Bryce
Julian
Underwood have
saying
to do with this?
it's Ohio against the world.
You're saying they're gonna use Bryce Underwood as fuel?
No,
Saban's gonna use Bryce Underwood as fuel?
they have the momentum. They just won the Natty.
You don't think Texas is gonna want to get their revenge?
Texas wants their revenge, but they can't do it.
Ohio State doesn't care.
Ohio State's defense is too good. It's gonna be it's gonna be a low scoring matchup.
That's what I'm saying. I like Ohio State's defense, Caleb Downs, but I don't know. I don't think either quarterback, I think both
Good.
quarterbacks are under a lot of pressure. So,
Arch Manning is only there because of his name. If his last name wasn't Manning, he'd be at a small school like Delaware University or something.
oh,
Like,
all right. So now let's get into, do you have anything else you need to add for about this week's matchups?
um,
You ready to get into dark horse playoff teams?
yeah, I think let's just hit it.
All right, you can go ahead and just rip all three if you have any context behind it.
All right. So my dark horses of the playoffs are going to be the Kansas State Wildcats. I just, I mean, I don't think they're too far out of it. I just like, I feel like I like them this year. I just think they're right there. They have a great offense. I don't know about their defense, but I dug into their offense and their offense looks pretty good. And I also like Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech's right on the edge right there that I feel like could make the playoffs. They could win the AAC and get right in, or they could just not even. I mean, they probably have to win the AAC and get in, or just be up there. But I just feel like this is their year. They're gonna beat Georgia at the end of the season, and then I also have Louisville as my third dark pick. I have no reason behind that one.
No reason behind Louisville.
No reason.
Okay. All right, so my three, I have Houston. I really like Connor Wayman. I think their schedule is very manageable. I could easily see him going, not easily see him going, but I think 10-2 is very possible. Everyone would really be surprised if Connor Wayman just shows that, he was a five-star not too long ago. If he can just show that, then I think they got a real shot. What's their coach's name? Willie Fritz. He's in his second year. He was great at Tulane. A lot of people hype up Willie Fritz, kind of an older guy. He's ready to make the playoffs. He's ready to make a statement. For Pitt, that's my next pick. I think Pitt could sneak into the playoffs. So these are both pretty hot takes. I think Pitt's schedule isn't, I don't think it's as easy as Houston's, but it's definitely not hard at all. They could also go 10-2. They got Pat Narduzzi is a great head coach, and then they have Eli Holstein at quarterback, who was either a redshirt freshman last year or a true freshman. He was really, really young. He showed some flashes, showed that he can be really good. I think if Pat Narduzzi can kind of just shapen up a few things, they didn't really lose anybody too high in the draft. I think their highest draft pick was like a fifth rounder or so. So not really losing too much to the draft. I didn't really look into the portal, but they keep Holstein. So I think they're good to potentially make the playoffs. And then my last one is a huge dark horse. They just made the playoffs last year, and they are with Kansas State falling. They're currently the favorite to win the Big 12, but there are a lot of people close behind them. It's Arizona State. You got Kenny Dillingham, one of the best coaches in college football. You got Sam Leavitt returning. He was a great quarterback last season. And, I think a lot of people are writing him off just because Cam Scatabo is gone. But at the same time, Sam Levitt can do it too. Like Cam Scatabo was overshadowing Sam Levitt all of last year, and also the defense. Kenny Dillingham had a great defense all last season. He's brought winning culture to Arizona State, and I think that they're going to make their way in the playoffs again. Maybe even seven seed, a six seed, something really good. Get them a home game. Um, you have anything to add with your playoff teams?
I don't have anything to add. I mean, you
Okay.
want to get straight into pick 'em?
Uh, sure, let's get into pick 'em. So let me screen share. Um,
Are we going 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
I'm gonna go 1-10.
All right.
these are subject to change. I might change these. Sometimes I change them as the day goes on, right before noon. So I honestly don't even remember what I picked. I just updated it a couple days ago. I'm probably gonna update it more tomorrow, but we'll see what mine looks like right now. And if I make any changes, I will update you and the crowd. Um, Georgia Southern, not really too much behind this. They're the favorite. Vegas has them as the favorite, and only 19% of people picked them. So I like going against the grain there. Fresno State already has a loss to Kansas, I believe. Um, let's see. Yeah, just a complete blowout. Fresno State loses Mikey Keene. They're not really the same Fresno State as they used to be. Ohio State is my two game. I think that this is just the biggest 50-50 game out there. But just because Ohio State's at home, I was going to give them the victory there. Clemson's my three game. That even though they're minus 190, I think that they should be more like minus 130, minus 140. I think on a neutral field, these teams are just about even. But since Clemson's at home, I like Clemson's receivers a little bit more. I think quarterback, maybe give Klubnik the edge a little bit over Nussmeier, but give me Clemson there. I think Dabo wants to make a statement against the SEC. Um, then like I said earlier, I like Notre Dame over Miami. I like Tulane. Tulane just lost their great running back, so we could see a Northwestern upset here, but Tulane has the better coach. Um, their quarterback might be the ex-BYU quarterback. I'm blanking on his name, but I don't know if they've announced their starter yet. But Tulane, great team last year. I think they went, what, 9-3 or 10-2 in the regular season. Yeah, I think that they continue to have success. And then we got Oregon State over Cal. This would have been an ex-Pac-12 matchup. I think Oregon State wants to beat this Power 4 team so bad. They really want it. So yeah, give me Oregon State. They want it more. Cal lost their star running back. They lost their quarterback Mendoza to Indiana. He was decent. So this is not the same Cal team as last year that got off to that hot start. Um, Utah over UCLA. I heard that the UCLA receiving room is a little bit depleted, a little bit injured. They don't really have a true wide receiver one. Nico arrived there kind of late, so I think Nico might have a rough start to the season. It might take him a while to kind of settle in there. So I got Utah on the road. Uh, Also big coaching advantage right there. Utah's finally got a quarterback, Devin Dampier or Devon Dampier maybe. So yeah, I might even bump Utah up a little bit over Utah State. Let's do that. I don't think UCLA's home advantage is anything crazy good. So Utah State over UTEP, not a lot of info there. Utah State is just the better program over the last 10 years. Utah State's at home. Give me Utah State. South Carolina and Virginia Tech. I completely forgot about this game because this is a Sunday game. South Carolina has the quarterback advantage with Sellers over Kyron Drones. That's a great home atmosphere for South Carolina. It's going to be a sellout crowd after the great season they had last year. So yeah, Virginia Tech loses their star running back. They lose their star edge rusher. And I think South Carolina gets this done by at least a touchdown. And then we have Arizona over Hawaii. Hawaii already had a game against Stanford last week. They won. It wasn't super pretty. Um, Arizona just got bigger bodies, better head coach, better quarterback. Um, and Arizona is also at home. So Clayton, would you like to tell me your 1 through 10?
All right. So for 1 point this week on College Pick'em, I am taking Georgia Southern over Fresno State just because I feel like that game could go 50-50. I have no clue with that game.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 points, I have LSU over Clemson Clemson's overrated. Clemson's been washed for years.
Hmm.
Ever since Ohio State beat them in the playoffs, they're only up there because they got the name Dabo Sweeney, bro. They're washed. They're done. For 3 points, I have Notre Dame over Miami. No question. Notre Dame's gonna come back out swinging. They lost the national championship. They won it. They're gonna win week one. And then for 4 points, I'm going to take UCLA over Utah. I
UCLA.
don't know why. I just feel like, yeah, I'm taking UCLA over Utah. That is because I just feel like they're they better. Um, I think is Utah's quarterback newer?
Yeah, they both have transfer quarterbacks.
Yeah, and then UCLA. I mean, they gotta be better
They're
at
at home.
home.
Okay.
And then I obviously have Tulane for 5 points for the Tulane Northwestern game. Obviously have Tulane Northwestern, bottom of Big Ten. They should be kicked out of the Big Ten. They're nobodies. And then for 6 points, I have Utah State over UTEP.
Okay.
Um, just because I've never known UTEP being good in my entire life.
Mm.
And then for is a team that makes like the 12 seed for the playoffs this year. They could be a dark horse. They're
Who
like
do
my
you think
fourth
makes
dark
the
horse
12th
team.
seed? Who?
Oregon State could.
Oh, okay.
Oregon State. Um, for 8 points, I got Arizona over Hawaii. No questions about that. In the Arizona Hawaii game, Arizona's going to completely dominate them. And then for 9 points, I have the South Carolina Virginia Tech game. I like South Carolina. Um, I just think that it's home. They're gonna want it more. Virginia Tech, they're gonna be a 500 team this year. And then for 10 points, we got the Ohio State Texas game.
Wow.
And I gotta choose Ohio State.
So you're
You
going
gotta go big
swinging.
in college pick'em, guys.
You're going swinging college
We're not,
$50 on Ohio State or
yeah,
$50
this
for pick 'em.
this is a $50 college pick'em, guy.
So so
Ohio,
really if UCLA
there's
pulls
no,
off the upset, you have UCLA at what, 5? So if UCLA
yeah.
pulls off the upset at plus 190 and who else? And Ohio State wins because you got them at 10, I'd say you're pretty likely to win the
You're
league.
cutting it out.
I'm not really sure how many are in this group. 46. So it'll probably be about the same weekly prize of about $90. Um, let's go over some of the games that we previously went over or brought up. Nebraska versus Cincy. Nebraska gets the win by 3 points. Do you think Nebraska could win the Big Ten? Do you think that that's even in the cards? No?
No, can you pull up their schedule real quick? What's their schedule?
Yeah. First, I was going to go over
Um,
the game stats. So Nebraska did not cover the spread. They're 5.5 point favorites, only won by three. Um, Raiola was 33
I
for
mean, when you're beating the
32.
Bearcats by
Go ahead.
69 yards passing,
Yeah,
that
Sorsby
is,
has been kind of
geez, like
hyped
it
up.
sucks.
He's been kind of hyped up all year. Didn't have a good passing game. I mean, he had a really good rushing
Yeah, I
game.
thought Cincinnati was gonna be decent.
There he is rushing for 2 touchdowns, 96 yards. Raiola was kind of the opposite. He had a good game passing. Um, what's this guy's name? Emmett Johnson, I believe. Yeah, he had a great game, 108 yards. I mean, do you think with this new offensive coordinator, Nebraska could make any noise? Like, you got Emmett Johnson and Dylan Raiola. Raiola was
Um,
efficient.
they definitely could make some noise. Um, I have them going. Um, what one?
I mean, let's look. They
I
have
have them going 10
they
and
have
2 this year.
Nebraska.
Yeah, 9-3 or 10-2.
So would they have at Penn
The
State and they have to play Michigan? I mean that they're catching Michigan kind of
they're losing
maybe Bryce is a little maybe he's not quite all the way
they're
there.
losing the Penn State game. They upset Michigan, help Ohio State out. They're going to lose to USC and they will lose to UCLA.
So 9-3.
Yeah, they're going to have a 3 week stretch of losses.
So I
Between the 1st and 22nd of November, they're going to have three straight losses. And then they're going to win against Iowa. And they'll miss out in the Big Ten championship game
they'll miss out the Big Ten championship game at 9-3 probably.
at 9-3. Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
miss out.
so they probably won't make the playoffs
One
at
loss,
9-3.
one loss, and you're in.
Their schedule's not great. They would probably need USC to be ranked to be able to make the playoffs at 9-3. Maybe have a couple blowout
Yeah.
wins. Let's go over to the next game, Georgia Tech and Colorado. I know you didn't watch any of this. Yeah, some questionable clock management by Dion there at the end. I don't know if it really would have
What?
mattered.
Oh,
Um, we have Salters, the Liberty
you're
transfer.
cutting in and out.
You can't hear me all the way? You can't hear me?
No, you're cutting in and out on me.
Okay, well, just bear with me. Hopefully it's
I
good on
think
the
it's on
recording.
me.
What?
I think I'm glitching.
Okay, well, Salter is the Liberty
Sir?
transfer quarterback. He looked solid, like didn't impress me
Okay.
too much, but and then Haynes King only threw 20 times. Looks like he didn't have a great passing game. I saw a few good passes out there by him though, but he did rush for 3 touchdowns, 156 yards. That was the difference maker of this game. Um, Georgia Tech is one of your playoff teams, right, Clayton?
Yeah, you just do the talking. Um, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Georgia. Yeah, I can hear you. Georgia Tech is my dark horse. They're gonna beat Georgia end of the season, calling it right now.
All right, so we have a little Georgia Tech, Georgia revenge, because as we remember, that game went into however many overtimes, 6, 7 overtimes. Um, and then we have Clemson. They probably lose to Clemson, but Georgia Tech is at home for that game. Other than that, they kind of have a cakewalk of a schedule. I mean, maybe Virginia Tech could catch them, or Duke
Pitt, they
maybe
might lose to
catch
Pitt.
them, maybe Pitt. But other
It,
than that, Boston College, I don't like. NC State didn't look great yesterday. Wake didn't look great today. Syracuse, I don't think is supposed to be good. So yeah, this could be a 10-2 team easily with that win over Colorado. Maybe even 11-1. Um, Other than that, let's go over to Auburn Baylor. Auburn wins by 14. They were in control for basically this whole game. I kind of want to see the yardage difference because Sawyer did pass for 419. Yeah, so Baylor had more yards. They both had no turnovers. It just looks like Auburn was better on fourth down. Auburn was better on third down. That's just kind of what it came down to. Um, but yeah, Sawyer
100,
Robertson. What?
108 passing yards to 419.
Yeah, Jackson Arnold, former five-star. He was in my sleeper Heisman picks. Does not look like with this performance he's gonna be able to win. I mean, he wasn't horribly inefficient. He didn't throw any picks. He was a great rusher, 2 touchdowns, 137 yards. Kind of similar to Sorsby, really. But then, yeah, Sawyer, as we know, had finished the season great last year. He wasn't very efficient, but 419 and 3 touchdowns against a respectable SEC opponent. He could sneak into the Heisman race if Baylor's, 8-4 at the end of the season, 9-3. They'd have to be somewhat competitive. I don't think his receivers are anything super special, though. It looks like their leading receiver was a transfer from Texas State. Didn't really have much of a rushing game. I believe this guy was an 1,000-yard rusher last year. Yep, 1,028 yards. Couldn't really do much against Auburn. Um, but yeah, uh, let's see if Coleman did anything for Auburn. Because I'm surprised to not see his name up there as the receiving leader. Cam Coleman, did he not play or did he not record a catch? Or is he just not popping up? So yeah, former five-star Cam Coleman, I believe he was only behind Jeremiah Smith in that class from a receiving standpoint. Cam Coleman, one catch, 23 yards, not looking great. Looks like Jeremiah Smith is far superior. Um, I
Yes,
thought
he
that
is.
I thought that him and Jackson Arnold would kind of have a big connection, but they still got a lot more games to go. Cam Coleman's still really young. And yeah, so we went over all three big games from before Saturday. This was last week. And we only have 3 minutes left of the Zoom call before it cuts us out. So do you have anything to add, Clayton? Do you have anything that you want to make known before the games start? Any really hot takes that you want to get out there? Anything like
Um,
that?
I mean, I don't really have. I don't know. We'll see. I'm like about what all the games. Are we talking every game?
Yeah, all games. Ohio State, Texas, anything. Clemson, LSU, Bama, Florida State.
There's nothing that sticks out to me too far yet, but you know, I just think that I'm not trying to be biased because I'm an Ohio State fan, but Jeremiah Smith for Heisman, he's gonna pop off against Texas.
Even with Sayan at the as his
Sayan's first game, Sayan's gonna be nervous. Okay, Sayan might have a first two bad drives. Calling it now. Sayan's first 2 to 3 drives will be terrible, and then after that, Sayan will be locked in. They will yell at him on the sideline, and we will be good to go. They will be scoring after pretty much every possession after that.
okay. If you have nothing else to add, then neither do I. And we will try to get a week one reaction episode in as soon as possible. Could be Sunday night, could be Monday night. Try to get that uploaded. We're gonna try to be as consistent as possible with our uploads. Do an NFL episode here soon. Then maybe in a month or so do an NHL episode. And yeah, maybe play some fun games, do some fun stuff like that. And Clayton, will you be recording some content from the game to perhaps
Yes, I
post?
what?
You're gonna film some content so I can post on YouTube?
Yes, I will be recording some content from college game day. I'll be there in the morning for that. And
Hmm.
then I will record some content from my seat so you guys can be looking for me out there. I am in the student section right behind the field goal post, row 11, and we will be leading the rush pretty much, once Ohio State wins and taking down field goal post.
Okay, so we only have 1 minute left, but can you assure me and anybody that is possibly watching that you will definitely be storming the field?
Guys,
Make this
look for
promise.
a
You
gray
have 30
jersey.
seconds.
What?
30
Look for a
seconds.
gray jersey in this Scarlet. I will be rushing the field. Look for me on TV. It'll be me leading the rush. I won't
Heard
get arrested. Trust me, guys.
You heard it here first. Clayton will be rushing the field. And yeah, we will keep you guys updated. Thank you for watching. Peace out.